Hi, this is Owen Thornton, and this is my vlog, which goes with my weblog at Ontario Crafts, all one word, .wordpress.com. So, one of the things I have never asked any of you to do is to click the like button down below the screen here. So, that's one of the things that does help let people know that we're out there. It does help make connections so that when people search Ontario Crafts, that gives one more little bit of power towards that search. So, anyways, please do so if you like this video. Today I'm going to talk to you about River Road Brewing and Hops. You can see, I never get that right. Everything's backwards. So this is, you can see their shirt, and I'm going to spin this way and show you the side of the shirt, which is kind of one of the coolest things about gear that I've ever seen, actually. River Road Brewing is just north of the village of Bayfield. So if you're on Highway 21 traveling north, and you've just kind of gone through the village of Bayfield, you cross the river and you would turn immediately to your right. That is River Road. They are at 35449 River Road. And this is a place that likes to consider itself like sort of from hops to glass. When you turn into the yard, you drive by the hops. You learn. I've learned from their website that they produce. They actually get their grain locally. They get it toasted locally, and those sorts of things. So a lot of things, so from grain to glass, essentially. They are doing things very local. As a matter of fact, the spent grain then goes back to feed area cattle. So this is a place that is very much a part of Bayfield and the region around which they are producing their beer. When you go into the grounds, you can park on a dirt gravel packed parking lot. In front of you, you will see the building. I will put a picture of that up over here. And I think I have another picture of the grounds. So if you kind of follow me, if you're driving where I'm going, then sort of straight ahead of you is the brewery operation. And just as you're walking towards it, just over to your right-hand side is a big bandshell and an open grass area where you could sit and watch the people on the bandshell perform, obviously. And between those two spots, there seems to be like an open garden area where on a nice summer's day, outside of COVID-19 protocols, which we seem to have eclipsed today. This is the 23rd of March, so we are no longer wearing masks, unless the organization requires you to do so. There is an area there between the bandshell and the grassy area where you could sit and watch the band perform, where you could sit with some tables and some umbrellas and have a beer there. When you walk up to the actual building where you can get your beer, at the time when I went inside, there was to my left was a little curved area where the sort of like a bar area, and I don't know whether or not you couldn't do tastings at the time, and I don't know whether or not you can do tastings there. It's a pretty confined little space, and I believe it was over to my sort of just to my again just to my left, immediately upon coming in. I think that's where the gear was found, where I found this shirt. And then over to your right area are some beers on display that you could purchase. We didn't do a tasting, as I said, because we weren't allowed to do tastings at the time. It was just a really tough time to go there and expect anyone to be able to serve you. But we did buy a variety of beers. They have lots of different kinds of beers here, and they have a lime one with lime, and I'm not into sours and stuff like that, although it wasn't bad. But I have to tell you that I have liked all of the beers that I have had from them. This is the nice place about River Road, of course, is that this is a small can format microbrewery. Most places that you will visit are into the tall cans, and I don't think many people have a problem with that, but some people do like that small can format. If you're a slow drinker of a beer and you have a tall can, it will get warm in your hand while you are taking time to consume it. So the small can is something that people can consume and the beer remains cold. Now, of course, this all goes against the grain. From what I've seen from Cicerones, which is essentially a beer aficionado, no beer is meant to be consumed in the container in which it is sold. In other words, all beers should be poured into a beer stein and should be poured with a head on the top of the glass to release the CO2 that is in the beer. If you have it in a can format and you consume it out of the can, all of that CO2 goes straight into the gut, and when you would eat, the CO2 would react with the food and create more gas. And that's why you get full when you drink beer with it in the glass or the bottle. And because that gas comes up and continues to manifest in your gut. If you poured it into your glass and got a decent head, some of the CO2 is released. It's meant to be released before it's consumed, and you will feel better and be able to consume more without that gassiness, that bloatedness, that feeling full sense when you consume beer. But still, all that being said, some people do like the small can format. It makes sense to them. They like that, and that's something that they enjoy. And the nice thing about the small can format, I think, too, is that if you were, say, even if you weren't trying to consume beer to become inebriated, and you were just trying to drink beer to have a taste, and you like it, and you're going to have one or two in the evening, the small can format allows you to say have 3 as opposed to 2 tall cans, because you get less in each one, and it just kind of allows you to try a few more things on a given evening without becoming too tipsy. So it is a small can format. I have to tell you that, as I said, everything I've had there I've really liked, but the one that is my favorite is Thanks Ale Latte, and this is a coffee flavored beer with obviously some milk solids in there as well. That's where the latte aspect would come into it. And this is probably, and I've had a number of beers with coffee into it, coffee introduced to it. This is my favorite, absolute favorite beer that's coffee flavored. And lately, I have gone. The nice thing about River Road for me is that I don't have to go to River Road necessarily to get my beer. River Road actually has a little bit of a small outlet in the Western Fair Market here in the city of London, Ontario. So that gives them a secondary place to sell their beer. And at the market, you can go in. There's a refrigerator there, and you can mix and match the different kinds of beers that are available at the time. Almost since the beginning of this year, I have not been able to find Thanks Ale Latte. So I hope that Thanks Ale Latte is being produced en masse, and that I will be able to find some when I go back to the Western Fair Market. So this is a up-and-coming new new brewery, I should say, and this is a place that has lots of different kinds of beers. Every one of them is a home run as far as I'm concerned, and they're doing a great job there, doing the small can format up near the village of Bayfield, along the golden shores of Lake Huron. A beautiful place to go to, a beautiful place to drive, and a great little town that you can explore when you go into Clongreagh Square and park around the square and go into the actual village of Bayfield. And you'll find another microbrewery right in town there as well. So a great place to go, a great place to explore beer, and a great place to buy beer. Feel free to go to River Road, and you will have a great taste experience, and you will be bringing beer home with you. Thank you very much. This is Owen Thornton for my web blog, which is ontariocrafts.wordpress.com. This is my vblog and me signing off for one more time. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and happy belated International Talk Like William Shatner Day, which was March the 22nd. Thanks very much. Bye for now.